Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Mr. Nascimento here. I'm glad to start one more class. So I want to share my screen with you because I have a question for you. It's pretty interesting, I promise. Do you know the meaning of the term prediction? Have you ever heard the word prediction? Quite interesting. So right here we have some words. Prediction, right? The other one, forecast. Very good, forecast. You hear that when you watch the weather forecast. People tell what the weather is going to be like, if it's a beach day, sunny, hot day. Okay. Another one is foretell. Okay. Very good. Foretell. Foretell means telling something before. Yeah, before it happens. Good. Estimation. Yeah, you kind of don't know exactly, but you say something about it. Yeah, you have an idea. Okay. So these are terms that relate to prediction. Okay, guys. So let's just visualize what we got here. Oh, yeah. So we have these words. So at this point, students are telling me what are the words that relate to prediction. Some students probably don't have a clear idea of what it is, but this word art really works, making this word cloud, and it's a really good strategy. Okay, guys, now you have told me what is prediction in your side from your point of view. Let's take a look at some predictions made by people in the early 1900s about life in the 2000s. So, yeah, 100 years earlier. So the following predictions were originally published by the Yorktown Historical Society and were taken from the December 1900 edition of the Ladies' Home Journal and a collection of French prints referenced in the Paleo Future blog. So let's see how interesting it is. The first one, who can read that for me? Don't be ashamed, okay? Oh, you, okay. So at this point, students will take turns reading some of these. I just have 3 of these, okay? In class, we can develop more than that. Students will learn from special head pieces. So back in the 1900s, people thought nowadays students would learn with special head pieces. Can you imagine that? Really interesting. Not yet, right? Yeah. So nowadays, it's not going on. It's not around. The second one is telephones will be able to call around the world. Wow, back in the 1900s, that's people's idea. That's true, man. Oh, yeah. Nowadays, we know that phones can call around the world, but back then, it wasn't the reality. Wireless telephone and telegraph circuits will span the world. A husband in the middle of the Atlantic will be able to converse, to talk, right, with his wife sitting in her boudoir in Chicago. Wow, great. We'll send photos over long distances. Do you believe that? I think we are able to do that. But back in the 1900s, it wasn't the same. So people got really good guesses, predictions, okay, for telling their future. Really good. Thanks for your collaboration. So at this point, we have just worked on the term prediction just to shift students' mind into that term and into the future. Okay, so our task number 3, what now? What is a prediction mostly about? So I expect, I suppose, students to say, It's something related to the future. And that's right. What are your predictions is my question for the students now. For the future on Earth, it's getting serious, based on environmental issues like global warming. So I'll start by explaining what is global warming and try to make them take turns and just say what are their thoughts and predictions for their future on Earth. So after doing that, that's the lead in, we would go to the reading section. And the reading section is more specific. We would get into the theme itself, but with a lot more background, okay? So number one, now skim the following part of the Q&A section of the American Museum of Natural History website on the future of our planet. What will be the future of our planet, according to geologist Ed Mates? So this is a website, you can see it, and we have a kind of question and answer section. And the question was, in your opinion, what will be the future of our planet? Will it be hot from global warming, or will we have another ice age? That's the question of Zarian. It's a real grade 10 student. And geologist at Mates will answer it. So let's get to see it. First of all, I wish I could tell you what the future will bring. So he starts by saying something about it. Maybe there will be long periods of low rain in a particular region. So we would listen to the audio of this text. And by listening to it, students would get more into the theme and wondering about the theme, thinking about their future on Earth relating to environment. So this paragraph says, another consequence is the rise of sea levels. So specialists are saying that it will probably rise 10 to 20 centimeters. That's a huge difference. It's considering some facts in the past. Floods can damage coastal areas. So we are introducing the theme and the vocabulary as well. After having read the text, we would go to the second part of the reading section, scanning. The first was skimming. They would pay attention to the general, to the whole, not to specific details. But now it's detailed information, scan for text content. After reading the text, write a check mark for the predictions geologist and Mates makes for our environment. So it's a simple true or false exercise, but really focused on some details. So after having done that part, we would go to number 3, and that is understand the meaning from context. It's getting really more specific. So choose the word or phrase with similar meaning. This is pretty essential for working on vocabulary. We have some terms, some words that should be more developed since it's students' first contact with some of those, I believe. Widespread means, so I will test students' understanding from context, not really knowing at first the word, but kind of understanding from the context it's in. So widespread is in the expression we read in the text. Right here, the Western United States is one area that is at particular risk to widespread drought. We have a picture here that is relating to drought and widespread. Some of them may know wide, and they may know that this is really a kind of vast and huge thing that is really taking over an area. So we would accomplish this. We have terms like rise. What is rise? We talk about it when we mention rise sea level rise. Heat waves. What are heat waves? When saying on the bright side, we're talking about many facts. We're talking about pros and cons. So on the brighter side, what can we have for our future on the bright side? Figure out that that's a phrasal verb. So we need to clear it out since we're teaching B1 students. And when we finish the pulse reading section, we would explore a little bit more the grammar and the function in it, since we have been started talking about predictions. Now we keep on developing a little bit more the idea and the communicative function of the future itself. So by using will or won't plus base form of a verb, we can talk about future predictions, actions, or events. Right here, you can see affirmative statements. And for example, sea level will rise 10 to 20 centimeters. But in the negative statements, we have sea level won't decrease over the next century, specialists say. So we don't need to have every single grammatical person, like I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they, since we don't have any change in the structure. We use will and a base form for every subject that it's involved. And then we go to the negative. Same happens. We have a negative. We have will plus not, that becomes won't, and a base form of the verb as well. Yes, no questions. So some questions are really demanding an answer, a complete answer, but some others really will require only short answers. I say yes or no answers. Okay, for example, will you watch? At this point, you have to use will, which is the auxiliary for the future for making predictions, in front of the subject. So you have you here and in front of the subject, not as the affirmative statements. We have the subject here, sea level will rise. So it's after the subject. But when it comes to questions, you gotta be careful with that. You have to take it, okay? Replace it in front of the subject. Will you watch the president's speech on the Amazon fires on TV tonight? Oh, yes, I will. Or in case you're not gonna watch it, you have to say, no, I won't. That means, remember, I will not, okay? Same happens with, will your sister go to the movies tomorrow? Yes, she will, or no, she won't. And then we would cover the information questions, which we'll introduce. In fact, at this level, they have been studying information questions for a very, very long time. Question words like how, where, when, who, how long, and so on. Here we have sample information questions and sample answers. How will you help the environment? I'll install energy-saving light bulbs at home. That's a good idea. Where will she meet her friends tomorrow? She'll meet them at the Save the World annual meeting. Okay, so we can help students understand this better by making them answer some of these questions, or just shifting or changing these questions to be more closer to their reality and to their daily life. To work better on the theme on the grammar, we would have a listening comprehension section, which says, listen to an extract of the article, what will our world look like in 2050, of the USC, University of Southern California. So then listen again and choose the appropriate verb phrase. So we have sentences like, the pregnant mother with no car will probably walk or probably won't walk to public transport and expose her baby to high temperatures and radiation, stuff like that. I always tell students to read the sentences before I play the audio, because I think it's best if they kind of have an idea of what the listening audio is going to talk about, than starting by listening and then having to read at the same time all of those sentences, which are long sometimes. So they will start by reading the sentences and the options, so they will get used to it. And after that, we would play the audio script, which is an article from USC, which is the University of Southern California. And after listening to the first time, they can like take their own time to circle the appropriate answer, but they will have another chance. It's advisable to repeat the audio at least twice. I think it's a good number. Okay, and this opens the door for us to work next class on a next opportunity with degrees of certainty, working with the adverbs like definitely, probably, maybe, and some of these were introduced here as they would show up in the audio, and they have a kind of previous knowledge about it for the next class. And that's the end of our class for now. Okay, thanks for watching, and bye-bye. See you next time.